Why we're here today is because of our connection a year ago with these fine folks from Norway, from Stennes, and our connection with them. And I want to introduce them first, and then I want to share just a little bit of background and go through some of this with you so you have a little better understanding and feeling and connection of how we're kind of all connected and where from and how long ago. And then John from Norway is going to share a little bit, and I've asked Ben to share a few words for the Skylstad side if he wants to, and then we're going to have a special treat from our Norwegian cousins to conclude this part of it. So if you four guys want to stand up, and Ingrid, Fineva, all six of you that came, he came right up this body of water over 100 years ago, and I find it kind of exciting and amazing that over 100 years after such an event as that, here we are in the room. There's a couple of, there's three, and Bert and Selma and Marie that are second generation, and then all the rest of us in here are third, fourth, and fifth generations. And I just find it exciting and really a pretty rare deal to have any family that can get together 100 years after somebody immigrated here and get together for a reunion with family members clear down to the fifth generation. And so what we've got on this board here, I mean, you can't see it, you can look at it later, but on at the little place called Stennes in Norway, the generation here was Knut and Ann Ingeborg, and they had 12 children, 2 of which died either at birth or in their first year. And this is a listing of the 12 of them that were born, and the 3 family lines that are represented here today have the little star beside them. Bernd Stennes married Marie Skylstad about 5 kilometers away, and in that day and age they took the name of the place where they lived. And so this is where the line of Ben and all the other Skylstads that are here today came from Bernd's family line. And Ben's father Knut came over here I think in the late 20s. I've got a paper at home, and I sent it to Vicky, and I don't remember. I think I sent it to Vicky, but anyway, I think he came in the late 20s, sponsored by Britannis, and along with Stephen Ole Skylstad, who are on the Nordeng side and aren't related to these. So that's confusing. Then Britannis was number 3 son, or number 3 child, second son, and of course he came here. So what happened during the course of all of this, the eldest son didn't inherit the land, the second eldest son left, the third eldest son came over here and actually passed away in 1903, and he's buried up here in the Chelan cemetery, Jacob. And Aunt Bea came over and lived up in the Meadow area till 1903, and her husband contracted tuberculosis and went back to Norway for his last years, and she stayed there. Petrine is the other one. There's 4 of these families that have a good family line with lots of numbers. The 3 that are here today, and then Aunt Petrine lives in Alnes in Norway, and we were there last year. They had a reunion that probably nearly doubled the size of this one for turnout, and probably has the hugest family line of descendants. Then Auntie Andreen, those of us in the Britannis line remember her, well, everybody does. Andreen lived in Oakland, California, and never had children. Martinez died at birth. Martinez came back over in 1910 with Britannis and Andreen, and he spent most of his life in Alaska mining. And Adina, we're down to number 11. Adina was the grandmother of John and Holstein and Siegfried and Jens Petter. And she's the one that inherited the property at Stennes, and therefore that's why they lived there, were raised there, and have the name Stennes. And then Aunt Tora was the last one. So that's the lineup. There's 3 of the 4 descendants of Knut and Anne Ingeborg. 3 of the 4 who had long lines of descendants are represented here today. Most of the rest of them had 1 or 2 children or didn't even marry.
On top of all of that, I think it's just amazing that you people have the time. When do you sleep?
Yeah.
But anyway, my 5 daughters, unfortunately, could not be here. They have families, and most of them are in California, and one of them is not feeling well, and she's over in Idaho. So hopefully next time we have something even similar to this, why I'll have some of those people with us and some of their children. But anyway, that's about all I really have to say, except I'm glad to be acquainted and get reacquainted with many of you, and with all of you. Very nice to see you all, and again, I appreciate your efforts more than I can tell you. But anyway, thanks again.
So I male kid. So that was the start. He didn't tell you that I kind of destroyed his mail, because I sent him pictures or whatever, and I used to have a broadband, but I didn't have it in Matthew Valley, so I destroyed almost. I hope you will forgive me. Maybe I sent you 20 gig of.
I'm very slow email.
Yes, slower email. We had a wonderful time last year, 16 days. Nothing, they speak about itinerary, but we never make such things, you know. We take it there and then, and especially on Aldes, we had a wonderful time, and I came 70, 80, 90 people, like with the food table like this, and it was in a modern boathouse. So we had a great time, and we ended up in Stennes, where George called his mother, Maria, and from this old house where Britannius was raised. So it was a great moment. But this beam, this was terrible, because he banged his head so many times. I remember one time he came in a rush to pick up something, and he almost fainted because he banged his head. This house was not so big. I don't know how much in square meters, or in what you 65 square meters.
500 square feet.
500 square feet. And we were 8 siblings, and 2 parents, and my grandfather used to be there. And I remember we slept up to 4 people in each bed, and 2 in each direction. But it was good, and it was safe, and I remember we were singing in the evening, and it was very, very, very safe, and it was a good place to be raised. I will come back a little back to Stennes later. First, I should, if I follow my schedule, Kit, we had a fantastic week also this week in Battle. I had the most wonderful week in my life, I think. We were floating in a river, and it was in the patio in the evening, and we had one evening with the speeches and with music and singing, and I didn't know your twins was so good in guitar, even singing. Wonderful, wonderful time. And yesterday was in rodeo, never been before. And yes, fantastic.
Låt oss go.
And not to forget Debbie. She come up with this most wonderful, and Emily, where she is, Emily, wonderful food. And we put on, we call it kilo in Norway, don't know what to call it in. But we had a wonderful time, and we didn't expect. We sent over, when we planned this, we sent over a request or something about where to stay. We didn't expect to stay in a house. We asked them to find us a hotel or something. In fact, they didn't answer. Never answered. So we don't know, but we traveled. We had tickets and traveled. Kate, they make this presentation of me and Halsten and my cousins. We, like he said, is Adina's. She was our grandmother. My father was Knut and Chelan. My grandmother, she had 4 children. It was 2 sons and 2 daughters. Unfortunately, she died when the youngest was born year after. She died by cancer. It was a difficult time because my father was 12 years. So you can imagine how difficult this was. My grandfather was not much of a farmer, so I think something fell apart for some years. Up to my father, he was married 11 years after, and got all his children. So I think it was war in Norway, 40-45. So I think it was difficult until us kids grow up, and we was very helpful, I think, to in the summer season and all these things. It was always a fight to move out, and we tried to move out rather early as we could. I was 16, Halsten was 14, and we tried to go out from Stennes to stay on our own, make our own money. It was not money. It was not so money involved in Stennes because many siblings, and life was not so easy, and so we had not so much education. I had later, after I was married, I had the education, but it was not so easy. After we grew up, we started with goat farming in the 50s, and but no Stennes is abandoned, so there's no people. My brother owned it, but use it only as a holiday, in the weekends and holidays. This old house I mentioned, this was the house where Britannius was raised, and Britannius was the second oldest. He could be the owner of Stennes. He could have been the owner because the oldest, the grandfather of the Skylstads, he married a widow, and she had their own farm. He was a smart guy. He moved, left Stennes and had the farm, Skylstad. Maybe Skylstad was a better place than Stennes, I don't know. So that left Stennes to be for the lower or the other siblings to take over. But I know that Britannius came home in 1910, and we have these famous pictures before they went over to America again. That they brought the youngest brother, Martinus. That was the only boy left. So it could not be easy for the father, Knut, to see everyone leaving. And that he left the only possibility was Adina, my grandmother, to take over, and she married a local man. But he was a businessman, and he was something in fisheries. He was in Iceland and make fisheries there. He was older than Adina. But Britannius, he was brought up in this house. It is a timber house, very small. It was moved there from another place 40 kilometers away. Was brought there, and I think it must be 350 years old. It is in the same, almost the same style. If you, I don't know if you have this in America, but we have this this fireplace in the middle, and in the roof was there's an opening. We could see that even if the opening was closed. Now we could see the opening in the roof, and the roof was dark from this smoke. So it was like this. The roof was dark. It was only three rooms. The kitchen was in the living room, and also there was the beds. I think it was two beds, and there was another room, and there was a room for my parents. So we cooked, and we slept in the same room, eat in the same room. And you can imagine there was no electricity when I was brought up. There was no electricity, no water. No electricity, no water. We had this oil lamp, and we had wood. So all cooking must be made in this room. And you can imagine to bake cakes for so many people. It was quite a challenge because first of all it was hot. It was always hot in this room. Had to bake a lot of cakes every week. Had to bake cakes. Stennes was also it was kind of a center for the family that came home in the summer, and we were waiting for them. Peppe came, Sigfrid came, and we put them to work immediately, together with his aunt and uncles. So we were waiting because there was a lot of work to do with this hay, and to dry it and take it into a barn, and to weed this onion on what carrot and what you have. Stennes is not crowded place. It's only two farmers. And both is with name Stennes. To be two farmers is not easy, and they don't go along so well all the time. Sometimes they are great enemies, and sometimes they are so. Just now in last August we were great friends, and Keith and Deb and Josie was over, and they was very pleased to see us. And they are running. They have a goat farm, very good. So we was there to see the goats, and he showed us everything. Stennes was in the fjord. It's not close to Bergen. It's close to Ålesund. Ålesund is middle of Norway, more or less, and it is 40 kilometers in fjord. It can be weather can change very fast. Not like here, it's sun all the time, but it can be rain and it can be sun same day, and many times it can be. When I was young, summer was always nice, and winter was cold. What I remember. I know that in Britannia's time, the schooling was it was school in Stennes. It was also schools on the other side of the fjord. So like a homeschooling, Christine. But I was a teacher, I was moving around. There you are, yeah. I don't know what I learned in these days, but I'm sure I learned about religion and to be decent people and to behave. That is for sure. It was not easy to Stennes is only with 2 farms, and that is it's in the wrong side of the fjord. On the other side is like a village. 300 people in my time, no it's less. We had to row over the fjord to meet people. We had to row over the fjord to buy groceries and have the post. We had to row over the fjord to go to school. We had 1 hour first to row over the fjord, then to walk 2 kilometers to school, and we always was late for the first lesson. And so we had a very bad degree in this, it was a religion. We had a very bad degree on this, because teacher was very religious this time, so he gave us, he was always angry because he was late. What more? What you know about Norway? I don't take Norway today. Later. When we school is okay, but when we were older, 14, 15, 16 years, we had to see people other places, and it was easy to go out of Stennes. We had 1 robot, but to go back was not so easy. We came in different times. We could not swim. We couldn't walk around. So we had to lease. We call it lease. We can't call it steal. We call it lease robots from different places on the other side. So on Sunday morning or afternoon, late, we had to take them back. And that was common. Every Sunday we had to take them back. There was all this. There was 40 kilometers from the near city also, and then we had to with boat. It was transported milk one way, and meal and all the things all the way. So we had to go early in the morning to deliver milk. And in warm days, it could take 4 or 5 hours to go to the dairy, and milk was sometimes not used for drinking. It was sour. So that happens. We are very glad. I don't think I can stay here all day and speak, but what I can tell you is that around these fjords is wonderful mountains. We can climb these steep mountains, and Slogan is the most famous, 1,500 and almost 1,600 meters. And I can guarantee the knees or foot are broken when you come down. Very famous place, very famous this place. I have a, what is this book? Oh. What I made during the last 2 years, I make a book, a short description of Stennes, and this Norwegian family tree, starting from Knut Stennes. His father was Bernt, so it changed between Knut and Bernt Stennes. I made this. Included also. There was a story Inga wrote some years ago, and I put this in. Very important to read. She wrote a lot about how it was to be in America these first years. Very interesting story. She writes very good, and there's even a picture of Keith. And the hair was black, I think. And the front side, the picture of Stennes. There is also pictures of last year's visit, and there is new pictures from this fjord. We have from the church, included from the church register. So if you go close, you can find the names of Britannians, I think. So this is, I have, because of a luggage problem and weight, I could not bring so many. But they have copied this on a DVD to hand out. So we made a list last night, and if you didn't bring, I bring. So to hand out, so you can print out this yourself. It is almost 100 pages, but you can stay in the computer. You can look out and see through it. So that I think I will close, and thank you very much. And I ask the orchestra or the choir to come again. Thank you very much.
Signad av Gud vårt folk och land. Signad vårt sträv och vår möda. Signad vår ärlig arbetsman. Signad vår åker och gröda. Gud, utan dig den Weignar och vissnar lägnar. Det oss grot sig och livet.
Everyone gets, the wealthier people get 2 cars with 2 different plates. But you said, you never...
Lite grann James.
A lot of pollution.
Och så här vi huset där vi hade samlingar. Här har vi Jodi. Kristin. Debbie. Hochwald.
I mean, with the essays, I mean, if you get the wrong person, you don't really understand. So there was a picture of a house. I would remember.
Jan Eaton.
Memorized, but
Yeah, really hard.
John and Paul Tyler. Have a good time?
Yes,
Nice. And Christy, and Debbie, and Evan, yes.
say hi to Pepe. Say hi, Pepe.
And Ethan, smiling face, happy face.
We got the blondies on either end. Oh yeah, look at you too. Except for the differences, his will be gone by Christmas time. Oh yeah, he'll stay. He's still blonde. Yeah.
Happy face. Yeah, come on. Yes. Here is Judy. Hello.
Here's Connor.
Esther, John, Danny, Maria. Thank you. Richard Tyler. Katie. Hello. Paul. Her er mamma sitt søskenbarn. Stor sak. Her har vi Ben. Hello Ben. I'm filming you. Ben Skylstad.
Oh yeah, you met him.
We stopped there we stopped there.
Joe Hochwald is here. Kevin, of course.
Hey, Pepe.
Hello, Kevin. Have the right shirt on.
Huh?
You have it?
I have the right shirt on.
Yeah.
This is his company in Norway.
Oh, cool.
Pepe works for, he sells furniture. He's a salesman.
Oh, okay.
I'm proudly wearing a shirt.
There you go. That's awesome.
With Bernt Skylstad. Bert Skylstad. Søskenbarn til min mor. Og han er 84 år. Og har drevet med frukt. Og har store frukthus han leier ut. Og er veldig godt med penger. Dette her er Selma og hennes sønn og Halstein, og Selma hun er søskenbarn til min mor.
Did you provide us with a script?
This is Judy, Bert, Bob and Molly.
On the West Coast. You're in the nation.
She's going to be this.
You wouldn't work with anybody who was a big shot.
Take it up.
You can be the CEO.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Lots of meat. Lots of meat, Pepe.
I love my job right now.
Do you?
Here is Mark.
That's me.
That. And here is Kevin.
Hello.
Yes.
We're the grill masters.
Can I take a look?
Well, this is just the turkey burgers.
Turkey burger.
That other barbecue is more interesting.
Pepe, started a minute ago and we saw them
Here is
driving
Ben
the driveway
Skylstad.
here.
Pat. And what's your name? Tanya? What's your name?
Oh, Janie. I'm Janie.
Oh, Janie.
Janie.
Yes. Where is Janie? All is
That's a
Skylstad.
camera. I thought it was a still camera.
Be careful what you say.
Vær så snill. Ja.
It's Ryan and Vicky. Yes. Skylstad.
As long as it's this end and not the other end.
And here we have Steve. Yes, he's from Seattle.
I hope Steve Marino. That happens to be my mother.
Don't tell everyone.
Så det er mat. Familiesamling.
Okay.
And it's Hispanic.
I was just looking for a. Hello.
This is Debbie and Debbie.
And hello Debbie.
Hello.
And hello to Debbie in Norway.
This is-
Deborah
this
in
is
Norway.
Debbie.
This is Debbie.
Let's put that her.
This is Pepe. So, yeah. And this is I got lost because I... No, it's not because I failed.
They were all born up there.
Her har vi kakebordet.
The shirt that you gave my uncle makes him look fat. I said either his shirt shrunk or he's gotten fatter. His shirt shrunk or he's getting fatter.
Ja. Super.